Hi everyone, welcome. How's it going? I panicked a little bit because I realized that my timer was up and I should have been activating things, and I didn't even know where I was. So anyhow, cool. So hi, welcome. I haven't streamed in a few weeks. First things first, Kevin Batdorf, my man, thank you for the sub. I appreciate you. So today anyways, I haven't streamed in a couple of weeks. I was away for a work thing, a really highly professional and serious work thing, where we went to Hollywood Studios in Orlando as one thing, and then I did a bunch of real work as well. But anyhow, and yeah, so I am thinking today I'd like to talk about some of the changes and some of the things in the scripts package. So way back one of my earlier streams was how to do multiple blocks in a single plugin. And I think it's gotten a bunch of views on YouTube. It's on my channel. You can go take a look. But the thing is, we had to do some stuff with the Webpack. We had to do a custom Webpack config and all of that, but we don't have to do that anymore. And so I wanted to kind of take us through that because the scripts package has had a bunch of things added to it. There's some new flags, all kinds of fun things that I wanted to kind of talk about. So what I'm going to do is we're going to build a file. Where is my... There, okay, so, oh, you know what? I don't even have a thing open here. So I'm using local as my local development environment. And I'm just going to get that spinning up. You can use whatever you want to use. There is a Docker-based at WordPress/env package that is awesome. You can use it. You can use anything that you like. You don't have to use what I use. But anyhow, I'm going to zoom that in. All right, so, and then what... I probably have to update the Gutenberg. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and update that plugin. And yeah, so if you're new to the stream, drop a little wave in there so I can say hi to you. And if you're not new to the stream, don't. Just kidding. Cool. All right, so yeah, so let's get into this. All right, cool. So the first thing I'm going to need to do clearly is I need to create a new branch. So I'm going to just do get new branch, stream, and then what is today's date? May 12th, 12-20, 2022. All right, cool. So where am I here? Okay, so I'm going to go into plugins, see plugins. Okay, cool. Let's clear this. I'm going to use one of my favorite packages of all time, which is called the create block package. And this is a tool that's going to allow us to scaffold out. I have, let me put this in here. Sorry, I get too many tabs. I gotta do this. I gotta deal with something here. Put this in here. And where did that other thing go? Did I just close that? There it is. I'm gonna grab that. It's gonna ask me to log in again, but who cares? So admin, password. Cool. Anyways, so the create block package is a scaffolding tool, and what it's going to do is it's going to build us out a plugin, and it's going to get us all the stuff that we need to build out a single block. And then we can take that, and we're going to just use. We're not going to do anything custom other than just move some things around. And I'll kind of walk us through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this command npx right here. I'm going to give it a different name. This is going to be, I'll call it native multiple blocks. I'm going to run that, and this is going to do a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes. It's going to ask me some things. So what this is going to do, if we look in here, if we look in our plugin, so it's going to scaffold out a plugin for us. It's going to give us a source directory. It's going to give us everything that we need to do, and it's actually going to go in and install the WordPress scripts package, and it's going to do all that. So that's going to take a couple of minutes to get all set up. And in that time, I'm going to refill my coffee, which is all right. I'm going to compile the block. What the heck is that? That's not good. Ah, I see what's happening here. I'm using Node apparently I'm using node 18, so that's not good. I'm gonna switch nvm use. I'm gonna switch node version manager. Great tool. I'm gonna switch it to 16, and hopefully that'll work. So let's just go. Yeah, don't think these packages work with 18 quite yet. It's pretty new. So let's see. All right, I'm just gonna do an npm install. Get out of here with that. Oh, sorry, all over the place. And I'm gonna go npm install and just make sure it all installs correctly again. That won't happen to you, hopefully. Yes, hopefully. That's kind of how. That's how my code works. I write it and hopefully it does what I want it to do. So I know, Kevin, your code always works because you're better at this than I am. This is why they pay you to do it and they pay me to do this. But anywho, yeah, so that should just run and it should just work and so on and so forth. So if I go, so I'm in the multiple blocks, so I'm just npm start. This should put us into watch mode and it should be building out our block. Everything looks good there. That's wicked awesome. Cool. I've spilled coffee all over myself. All right, let's get that out of here. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at this. So the way that this is scaffolded is that it has a source directory. Inside the source directory, we have a block.json file, and then we have all the files that make up our custom block, starting with index, which then refer to the edit component, and then also to our save function. There is a distinction there. Notice lowercase, this is a save, and this is a function, and here we've got an uppercase, which is a component, and that's because of the way that behind the scenes, when a block is registered, it actually calls save as a function. It will never treat this as a component, React component. Anyway, so that's great. So this works. So one thing that we changed, well, actually so the scripts package will look for any subdirectory of source, and it will create it and look inside of that for a block.json file. If it finds that file, it will treat it as it's a separate block. So I am going to just do a new folder here. I'm going to call this block 1. I'm going to take all of this stuff in here. I'm going to copy all of these things into block 1. Okay, and now let's see what happens. So I'm going to just kill that command. I'm going to restart. And it's still. And that's why. Okay. Is that why? Delete. So what scripts just did was I created a directory called block 1. Inside of that, I have all the same files that made up this block, this pre-scaffolded block. And then the scripts package, the WordPress scripts package, recognized that and said, "Oh, hey, cool, you've got a block in here." Right, and so now it's created its own entry point here. So what we can actually do is we can do the same thing here for block 2, right? And oh, that was there because I copied it. So this is running in the background. So now we've got 2 blocks. So we can have as many blocks as we want in here. And the only thing that we're gonna have to do, let's check, make sure that this is working. We'll just make sure that this works here. So why doesn't that work? Can't resolve found in. Maybe I didn't. Oh, that's why. That'll do it every single time. I didn't move the file over. So we should have all that stuff in there. And let's look in here again. And now it's building as expected. So this is a really super quick demo, but I haven't changed anything in Webpack. I haven't done anything. Kevin is asking a question. You think WordPress wants us creating collections with multiple blocks like this, or single blocks, or it depends? I don't think WordPress cares how many blocks you have. I think it's one thing that it's a bit more maybe opinionated on is where the blocks are registered from. But I think that if you have a plugin that needs to have 3 blocks in it, that makes sense. I don't know why it wouldn't. Yeah, I think that this makes it easier to create a suite of blocks and not have to have a single plugin for each block. That personally, as a developer, I would hate that, and that was something that was originally a real problem, hence my first stream, and then now this has been added in. So I don't think that there's like a best practice as to like how many blocks. Because for example, let's say that you had a block that had inner blocks, but they were custom. You wouldn't want to have a plugin that registered your sort of main block and then all of the custom inner blocks that go inside of it in separate plugins. That would make no sense, because those blocks don't work anywhere else except in your main block. So that's a really good use case of why you'd want to have them all in the same place. Hope that answers your question. But yeah, so the only thing left to do now is in our native multiple blocks PHP function, we want to register these blocks. Right, so I'm just gonna make some changes in here, and blocks 1, and I'm just going you have to do this stuff manually, because you just have to, and that's just the way it is. So this should give us this should work. So if I come into my dashboard here and I go to my plugins, we should see we have native multiple blocks right here. I'm going to activate this plugin, come into my posts, and my new posts, close this, native multiple blocks, capitalize that because we're not savages. And then I'm going to go native, what did I call it? Is it not registering? Hold on. There's always something that I do here. Ooh. Oh, Russ Junior 08, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's look. So if it's not working, let's go type in native. Huh. Okay, so it's not registering. So let's find out why. So first place to look is console, and I can see there's a whole bunch of errors. The block, I know why this is doing this. Okay, in our templates, if we look in here, this is where that's coming from. This gets me every single time. So what I like to do is I like to import JSON from the block.json file. Okay, and then that's going to allow us to get the name of it. The block.json should be your single source of truth. Everything about your block, it is quite literally the block definition. Why is that? What's going on here? It's quite like it defines how your block functions. So in this developer's opinion, we should be using it, and we should be referencing it everywhere. My ESLint broken? No, seems to be running a-okay. What's going on in here? Oh, that's why it's not doing it. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry about that. It looks like I broke something in my setup. I like to have things auto format. So I'm gonna do this and jump back over here. Oh, that's what? Why is it not formatting? Is this doing that thing? That thing that I love? Let's see. I'm just gonna do the ESLint thing, fix all. This is something for a different stream, but there's some stuff that I'm not super happy about. That's why is this not? What is saving? Okay, cool. All right, so whatever, we're good. So we're gonna put the name in there. Okay. Yeah, so that's what the issue was. Why I'm pretty sure that's why it wasn't loading. So if I refresh this, this should be working now. So if I just look in here and I type native, there we go. So we got native multiple block 1, native multiple block 2. And those are our working blocks. And we didn't have to do anything with custom Webpack configuration. Need title to. Well, I guess not. What do you mean? In the register block type call, is that what you mean, Kevin? The thing that it was complaining about was that my name was I was registering the same name for 2 blocks, and that was because I copied and pasted the source. But yeah, if anyone wants to do a pull request against the create blocks package to add this, I would be forever in your debt. There is a template in there. That might be, if no one wants to, that might be a cool stream to do. But if you look in create block, we can look in the lib, and there is templates, and then ES5, and then you can look in index, and you would add it, not there. What am I saying? Not ES5. Come on, Ryan. Come on, the block one. We go in index, and you would add it right about there. So if you wanted to, I'm going to paste this in here. And if anyone wants to have a shot at doing that, that would be awesome, because that just would be awesome. So anyhow, so that is a functional block that just works now, right? One thing that I'd love to see in the create block package, and myself and Greg, who work on the create block package, have talked about the ability to run create block, but then pass a flag that says like block only. So it wouldn't scaffold a plugin each time. It would just create a new block based on whatever templates are defined. That's something that I'm super excited about. And actually, I'm going to be at WordCamp Europe this year in a couple of weeks. If anyone is there, come say hi to me for sure. I'd love to meet you in person. And I'm going to be part of Contributor Day. I'm going to be on actually leading the core JS table, which is hysterical if you've seen my JavaScript skills. But someone's got to do it, so I'm going to do that. And I think that might be something that I'd like to work on during that time. It's an entire day just to hack on this stuff. So I think that will be fun. So if you're interested, sign up for Contributor Day. It's on June the 2nd, which is also my birthday. So bring me a present. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you there. Cool. All right. So that's the scripts thing. There's a couple other things too that I wanted to mention. So in the scripts package, we added a couple of flags that are going to make life a little easier. So I said that I'll do it in here, but I said that so the source directory as far as the scripts package is concerned it's important. And it used to be very important that it was called source, because all of that really awesome functionality to scan directories, find block.json, refer to these files that are in block.json and emit them into the build folder, that was all completely dependent on the source folder, and it had to be called source. So there's a new flag that's been added to customize that, because sometimes it doesn't make sense. What if you have source that's non-block related? We're kind of running into that now on the examples repo, which I highly recommend you check out. You know what I need? It's like a Stream Deck thing, so I can press buttons and have stuff pop up. So if you go to that, we just merged a big change to the structure that includes directories for blocks that have JS, or JSX, blocks that don't have JSX, so like your ES5 stuff. That's kind of what we used to refer to that as, basically non-JSX, and then non-block examples. So in this case, we, having a source directory in there to be able to utilize all that cool stuff kind of made it more confusing. And that's because all our blocks are living inside of here. So we have all of these blocks, but I didn't, so instead of having to write a custom Webpack file, which is what I did originally with this pull request, I actually just added this flag to the scripts package to allow us to customize the name of the directory that all your blocks are going to be in. And that's going to be, I think that's a nice little touch to be able to integrate scripts into an existing thing. So like, say you have, like if you have a plugin now that, or a theme, well, let's stick with plugins that, you know, if you have an existing plugin that had a bunch of source stuff, like a bunch of JavaScript that you stored in the source, now you don't have to rename that. Now you can keep your blocks in a different directory, and call it whatever you want, and it will inherit all of that great, cool functionality that we love about the scripts package. And so let's talk about how we do that. So it's pretty straightforward. All we need to do is pass a flag called webpack-src-dir, which is short for source directory. So if I jump back into my package.json for this, so we've got a bunch of stuff in here. So if I want to name this, I'm going to just rename this now to blocks. So let's just see what happens. So first of all, if we run this, it's going to say source directory was not found. Please confirm that there's a source directory in the root or value passed to, so add a source or add a value to webpack-src-dir, right? So what we could do is we could say blocks, right? You can look for blocks. All right, I'm just gonna recompile or restart this now. So now this is gonna look for blocks, but can't resolve blocks. Maybe I just have to do this. It's not even working. Why is that not working? Okay. Oh, I know why. Because it doesn't like directories. It's still, so then you try to pass the directory and it says, well, wait, but there's no index file in there. So it gets a little confused. So instead of doing all that jazz, what we're going to do is steal, where'd that thing go? I'm going to steal that flag, not there, right here. I'm going to say webpack-src-dir. So this is saying, and the reason that it's prefixed with webpack is because so scripts knows that this is something that Webpack should deal with, because there's a bunch of other flags that you can pass that are not Webpack specific. So that's why they're prefixed. So if I come back in here, I'm going to rerun this. I'm going to say npm run start, and now it works. Does exactly what it was doing before, right? We still have our block 1, our block 2. If we come in here now and we add block 3, which I can do, block, right? And in here, just gonna do this, right? That should, if I look in the build directory now, we've got, I'll just ignore that because that was added because I copied it, but so it's working, right? And we come back into here, not there, sorry, in here, I can refresh this. I can look for native again. Oh, I forgot to add it in here, so I'll do that. All right, so I just reload this and go to native. Now 3 is there. There we go. So that's a really, really cool change. I think that was well needed. Allows us to maintain all the functionality that we want, but put it in whatever directory we like. Another one that we added, I think I've talked about this one, but I'm going to just do another one. So this is gonna be a block. I'll call this dynamic block. So in some cases, when you have a dynamic block, you need to have, sometimes you have external templates. What's a good example of that? Let's see, do I have an example of, not in there. You know what? I'm just gonna scaffold another block here real quick. Anyways, the idea of being, okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. You just take my word for it. So in a dynamic block, you register a render callback function. That function is called when the block is rendered on the front end of the site. So the big difference between a static block, which is what we're doing here, and a dynamic block is that the dynamic block doesn't save to its markup to the database. It renders that markup on the fly, much the way all PHP works. So sometimes it makes sense, like so if we were to do something like this, right, we're going to need an array in here, and it's going to need render callback. There. Oh my gosh, 2 weeks away, I still can't type. So the render callback is going to be the name of a function, which I'll just add something down here, render block, render, right? So you may have some kind of setup like this, okay, which is completely cool. Why is that yelling at me? Oh, that's fine. Right, and then in here, I'm just gonna give this my render dynamic block. I'll just give it a bit better name, right? So then in here, you might do something like require once, path to template file. We'll do this. So you require this block build dynamic, and then we'll call it template.php. All right, so this is going to completely break everything. And then in your block, you'll have a file in here. We'll call it template.php, and then in here it'll just be like a echo hi, right? You'll be obviously doing things more complicated than this, but sometimes having it split out into its own file makes a lot of sense, because this could be really complicated logic. It could have other template parts that you're pulling in. You're doing really, 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 really complicated things. So what we want to do is when we release our plugin, we don't want to release all the source. We want to just release build. So what we need is a means of copying this thing, the template file, into our build. And so there's a flag for that too that's been raised. This one I think I've talked about before, but it's just a true or false, and basically it's going to copy any PHP files that it finds in its source directory into the build directory. So we can just add this. So you see, so we've added, so in our build here, we can see we have all this generated PHP stuff, but we don't have our template file. So if I add this now and I rerun this, cd native, and I'm gonna say npm start. So this is now gonna look in the source directory, and it's going to hopefully, if everything's right, we should now have. So in our dynamic block, we've got template. Now in our dynamic block down here, we've also got template.php. So that's going to be really helpful. Now keep in mind that if you have any PHP files in any directory, in any of the blocks, that they will get copied. This is sort of an all or nothing sort of situation, especially when you're into multiple blocks like this. And that's the nature of the tool. So there's that. The rest of this stuff is fairly straightforward. And these are applied to build as well. So you can do the same thing in your build by adding that. That's going to work the same way as it always has. So yeah, so that's kind of all I wanted to talk. That's only half an hour, man. Is there any questions, any comments on any of that stuff? Yeah. Oh, I did want to mention that with WordPress 6.0, that's due to release very soon, you will be able to register blocks from themes. It will work, which is super cool, depending on your use case. Now, the best practice will still be to register from plugins because we want to avoid theme lock-in as much as possible. But in cases where you're an agency or a freelancer and you're building a very bespoke theme and very customized markup that makes no sense being outside of the theme, and you want to use those in your blocks, this will make your life a heck of a lot easier. So yeah, so people listened to what a lot of people have been saying. Yeah. Okay, cool. Moving on. So we had talked about Thunks. We talked about Thunks a couple of weeks ago. So if you remember, we were working on this pre-published checklist thing. So this is what we are going to work on again. So I'm just going to kill this. CD. Twitch. Here we go. Right, so let's look. Okay, so we're gonna look at the admin, and we're gonna look in here, and we're at our data store. In our data store. Okay, so I talked really briefly about Thunks, which are pretty cool in the sense of being able. So if you remember, we're doing a lot of things with. We have controls, we have selectors, we have action selectors, controls, and what was the other one? Actions. Wait, where's my store? Reducer, action, control, selectors, and resolvers. We have to define all of these things, and it can get very roundabout in the way that the things get called. And I think that we can make our store a little bit simpler. And I'm going to try to fight my way through this, having literally read this document one time. I'm going to try to convert the store that I have into a store that uses Thunks, and we'll just see how that goes. So we'll see. All right. So for Thunks, actions were purely functional, could only return and yield data. Common use cases such as interacting with the store or requesting API from an action required a separate control. You'd often see code like this. This allows you to use side effects inline. Dispatch. Okay. Take a look at an example. Prior to Thunks, the toggle feature from the WordPress interface was implemented like this. Yield controls select, and we get whatever that is. And then yield controls dispatch, okay. Controls were the only way to dispatch actions and select data from the store. With Thunks, there's a cleaner way. This is how toggle feature is implemented now. Okay, Thunks can be async. Thanks to the arguments. Thunks may use the store directly without the need for generators and controls. Interesting. Okay. Imagine a simple React app, but it allows you to set the temperature on a thermostat. It only has one input and one button. Clicking the button dispatches a save temperature API action with the value from the input. If we use controls to save the temperature, the store definition would look like below. So here's our action. This is the function that gets called. This is a generator function, and it's going to take the temperature and it's going to yield this stuff, and it's going to return the result. And then that must be the action name. So it awaits the window.fetch. Oh, that's the, okay. So when this is called, that is the action that is yielded, and then this control takes over and does the fetch call and all that stuff. Why is my watch buzzing? There we go. With the code, while the code is really reasonably straightforward, there is a level of indirection. The save tab temperature action does not directly talk to the API, but has to go through the effects JSON control. Let's see how this indirection can be removed with Thunks. So, okay, store actions. Save temperature to API, temperature to async function. Okay. I don't really see yet what this is doing. So that, okay, so it's okay, cool. All right. Okay. So it's a function. I don't know about you guys, but I find this to be an extremely convoluted example. Okay, so it returns a function. So let's look at this. So this is gonna returns an async function. All right. Well, let's see what I can do here. So we have. Oh, Kevin, I'm fighting through Thunks. That's what I'm working on now. Just looking at the way we can simplify our hopefully we can simplify our store a little bit. So in the example that they have is they're talking about, so we can do away with this control by I can't say that. Desroje, I know who you are, but I'm not saying that right. I'm sorry. Welcome and thank you for coming. Working on some thunks. So we have this control that responds to our fetch settings, which is wherever that is. Where's our action? We have an action called fetch settings, right? That hits this. So I'm going to see if I can fight this thing, if I can beat this into submission, so we don't have to go through our control in there, similar to what we're doing. Where's that example? Where did that example go? Right here. So in our actions, we have save temperature to thing, which takes temperature, which we don't need, and it's gonna. So let's see. All right, so fetch settings. So the first thing it does is fetch settings is going to. I'm gonna do this. So I'm just gonna say fetch settings, and it's going to. I'm doing it this way, so maybe I should do it this way. So it's going to return. What? Why you hate what? Oh, fetch settings. All right, it'll return another function, right? And that, right, which, no. Okay, so that I think is how it sort of works. So this is using arrow functions here, but this is all right. So then what am I doing down in here? Return API fetch. That's going to return another function. async. Probably needs to be async. And then in there, I'm going to grab that. Oh, I'm lost now. Where'd that go? Const data equals await data. Then I'm going to say console.log data. I don't need anything in there right now. So, and the idea being that it will. Okay, so let's see what that does. Publish settings. All right, let's look. Interesting. I've broken. Oh, I'm probably not building. Am I? npm run. I gotta remember how this thing's working. npm start settings. Yeah, it definitely is. Thunks, currying, monads, all that stuff are it's just feels like weird made up names. Why is this giving me grief? What is this? This is giving me a hard time because of that. That works. Nope, getting some kind of console error here. Parse that unexpected token in JSON thing. So there's. Well, that's stupid. What's going on with that? Where is that thing? I'm just gonna comment that out for now. This is unrelated, I think. Yeah, should be okay. I'll have to fix that later. Okay, so let's get back to our fetch settings, right? And I don't know if we have to enable thunks in our stores, because that doesn't seem to do anything. I'm looking at the wrong example here. Every time I get into this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try. I think I need to do this in the resolver instead. Okay, this. I'm gonna make that go away because what I'm actually doing is calling this resolver. I'm calling getSettings, which is a resolver, is a selector, right? Which has actually got a resolver down here. So get temperature. Okay, and then in my resolver, I'm going to update it to look like that. So here's my resolver for getSettings, which is what it's called, right? And it's not being yielded anymore. Okay. So we'll do that and get this out of the way. So we'll get settings, async dispatch. So Okay, so I need to, oops. Yeah, I need to return API fetch to here, right? And then we want to dispatch init. Oh, okay, cool. So I'm pretty sure what's going to happen here is when I call getSettings this time, it's going to make this request. It's going to wait for the request, and then I'm going to console.log the results here. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to just actually not do that. And I think that's going to work. Let's look. No issues. Okay. Ooh. Actions must be plain object. Use custom middleware for async actions. Why you custom? What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Error, actions must be plain objects. Use custom middleware for async actions. I think, do I have to enable Thunks? I thought I read somewhere that I have to actually enable it. Thunks can be async, okay. Create Redux store, okay. Is this where I am? Thunks import data. How to... Same thing. Interesting. Okay. Let's look. I think that might be what I need. Let's find out. Let's see if that's the issue. Please God, response.json is a function. That seemed to fix the thing. Okay, so let's look. Where are we here? Oh, where did that thing? I don't even know where I'm working anymore. Response. This may not be the thing that I'm too worried about. There we go. Oh my God, that worked. Okay, so that is awesome. So then all we need to do now is dispatch. What were we doing up here? We were dispatching init settings. So we're gonna call. We can just do this, I believe. Right. So we'll change that. So we'll say dispatch.init settings. Gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna call this settings so it's correct. Clean this up a little bit. Hopefully, I think this should just work. Oh yeah, oh my God, did that work? Ah, it did. Oh my God, that's cool. Okay, so does that mean I can get rid of? Can I do this? What if I get rid of my controls here? Because I don't need that control anymore. You see that? That's pretty awesome. That's really awesome. So I can see how this, so this is a little bit, it's a, I don't know. Do you find this syntax hard to grok? I do a little bit. Like we've got, so this is an object. So this is the function. It is a function, and then it returns another function. I wonder if writing it like, how was I doing it here? Like doing it like this. I'm going to compare these two. One second. I'm going to do get settings to, right, like that, and then have this return a function. No, why? I didn't want that. Function that has dispatch on it, right, and then put this stuff in there. Oh, async, sorry. I think I like I don't know. Show of hands, if we can do that. Who likes the first one better than the second one? I don't know, whatever. Cool. So then this, okay. This is really neat. So the important thing here is experimental use thunks. Now, there is a whole lot of conversation right now around the usage of experimental or experimental stable and how we shouldn't be using those. And so this is something to keep in mind. This is really neat. I think this is kind of cool, but maybe let's look at create Redux store and see, does it have store config? What does that look like? Initial state, persist, selectors, resolvers. The one is documented. Anyways, cool. Okay, so let's use this same. So what is this? Action set user preference. So I don't need this control at all for this particular thing, right? So is there anything else I can get rid of? Resolve select. It's the same as select, except it returns a promise that resolves with the value provided by the related resolver. Okay. That's really neat. So I want to see what's so. Select. An object containing the store select is pre-bound to state, which means you don't need to provide the state, only the additional arguments. Select triggers the related resolvers, if any, but does not wait for them to finish. It just returns the current value even if it's null. Oh, if a selector is part of the public, it is available in the method. Since not all selectors are exposed to the store, select. That's interesting. That's interesting. So I wonder what the use case. So select makes sense, and it triggers the resolver. But why would we? Oh, because this waits. I'm not. Use the error function there. Shorthand too. I believe in the return. Oh yeah. You could. That might actually. Can you? So you could do like this. Is what you're saying, right? Just return that. which I kind of like. I like this. I just find this to be very unclear. Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess I guess you can mix and match too, but I just have to get used to it. That's really neat. Okay. Okay, well, I don't really know what else I can do with the store. I'm not doing a ton with it. So I don't need those controls. I do need resolvers. I'm still going to need actions, selectors, get user preferences. Guess I can update this to no longer need to do that, right? I can do it this way. This will return an async function that has, I think it takes dispatch, right, like that. And then this is where I do all this stuff in here. Oh, do I need to? Maybe I don't need async in there. Probably don't need async in there actually. And then I can just say that. I'm gonna console.log that. User preferences. All right, let's see what that does. Show word count is true. It's weird that they all, when I toggle that one, they all, or do they? Weird, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna pull that stuff in, right? And then I'm gonna use the dispatch, set user preferences, JSON. Oh wait, no, I need to, oh, I do need to parse it because it's a string. Right? What's going on here? Oh, that's what's going on here. Let's spell dispatch right. And I should be able to get rid of this. It's actually really handy. Ooh, oh, okay. So close that, refresh that, and it works. Okay, well, I gotta say, I kind of like that. I'm gonna use this syntax for in here, and I'm gonna get rid of this and add this. Boom, boom. So, I mean, where would you use? I've seen examples of where I like thunk. Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. I mean, generators have always been magic voodoo to me a little bit. Like, I get what's happening when it yields. There's like a internal thing that's like waits for the next iteration to run. I don't know, read up on it. It's weird, but you know, the asterisks and all that stuff just seems strange. And then the roundabout that you have to take, like, you know, we had our control was triggered by an action, but the action was triggered by a result. It just seems really roundabout. This is very much, it's a little cleaner, in my opinion. I quite like this. But I want to see, there was an example up yeah, right here. So it's got select and dispatch. Controls are the only way to dispatch actions and select data from the store. Select. So is there a place where we could use this? I wonder. Let's see. It's a toggle feature. So maybe. So there was an action that then also set. I don't know if I have a thing. Where I can use it. Oh, maybe I can do something in here. set user preferences. Well, hold on. How are we doing that user preferences thing? Let's look. Am I doing? No. Where's it? Oh, in here. I mean, I could create, I don't know, I feel like I'm forcing it a little bit, but so an opportunity to use this would, like, I'm thinking would be in our user preferences where we're toggling something open and closed. We want to get the current value of it, then we want to set the opposite of that value, right? So what if we did that? What if we did that? Let's, in our store, instead of having an action that sets all the preferences, right? We'll say set toggle for section, set display, oh my god, toggle state. There we go, state. And this will take a what do we call this? A section, right? So this will say like word count, right? And then in here, scope, feature name. So then we can make that return. That's what we'll do. Okay, so we're gonna make this return a function, right? So we have a selector in here, so we can say in our selectors we can get user preferences, right? Get user preferences. It doesn't take anything. Okay, so console .log it, current value. Make sure this is working. Okay, so set toggle state. So okay. So you have to bear with me while I set this up a little bit. So the idea of what I'm doing is in, say, like the word count section, instead of running set user preferences, I'm going to set toggle state in here. And so I'm pulling in set user preferences. I'm going to use this, set toggle state. And then I'm going to just do this for now. And I'm going to run set toggle state. And this is going to be the show word count, which is gonna, I guess, be a string. I don't know. We'll figure this out in a second. Okay, so let's see what happens. So no build issues. So let's see what happens when I do this. All right, so I'm gonna console log. So if I set the toggle state there, so where's that coming from? Index one. Okay, so, okay, cool. So that's getting, okay. So that's what I want. So it's pulling the select thing. That's wicked. And then I need, and so what were we doing in here? We were calling set user preferences, right? So then we're going to dispatch, I'm going to call it dispatch set user preferences. And we can, I think we can just steal everything that we were doing here, right? We can do something like that for now. Oh, sorry. I gotta, or maybe, oh my god, Ryan, come on. Current values, ba-boom. Yeah, and then we'll, because this is expecting an object, so we're gonna spread the current user current values on there, and then the section. I think I have to like that. God, can't remember now. Is that the right way to turn that into an object property? Kevin, you help me out, buddy. I'm pretty sure. So that's a string. This is the thing, right? And then you know what? I'll do it this way. I'll say current values section, right? And then this should be the opposite of section value. Yes. Well, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to leave my streams when I need you. I need you, man. I cannot do this without you. You and Adam Wills Dev are the only reason people come to tune in here every Thursday. Okay, so I think that is going to be what I want. So if I hit toggle state now here and pass it the thing that I want, this should hopefully toggle whatever the state of the show word count is thing, right? So let's see. Let's just see how badly it breaks. Let's see. Okay, so no, and ba-boop, and ba-boop, and ba-boop. Okay, so that's saved as open. Let's close it. And let's refresh. Okay, so that's working. That is super cool. So now we don't need that save user preferences, which is a bit of a sledgehammer approach, I think, right? We don't need it all. Can I do it that way? I think that's what I want to do, right? So I'm gonna destructure word count out of there and give it a default value of false if it doesn't exist. Okay, so now the question becomes, though, does this simplify our store in some way? It does, actually, because I don't need to get the value and then deal with the best. Because, yeah, I think that's super cool, actually. Let's see. So how do they do it up here? Okay, so in the action, it needed to be a generator that yielded and then did all this stuff. This is super slick. I think this is so slick. And so you know what we could actually do? Yes, we could actually maybe even just do away with the majority of these set things. Because that's the other thing I was thinking too, is like, we don't need to set like, or do we? This can be reduced to a single function. First of all, set preference, then the name of the preference and the value. Do that. So let's see. So let's do that. I built this. It was way too verbose in the sense of like I have an action for each thing. I don't think that's not a good way of doing it. It's fine if you have 3 things, but if you have 3 things, you want to add 10 more. You got to add a function. You have to add an action for each one of these. So what I'm going to do is just create I'm going to create a single item that set setting, and then this will be the name of the setting and the value of the setting. That's what I want to do. So I can, and that's nothing to do with thunks. That's just a better way of doing it. But I'm going to use thunks to get this done, right? So, right? Or am I? I don't actually ever need to pull that setting, do I? Do I need to pull that setting? Set toggle state selection value. Pass the value, right? Sorry, Kevin. What do you mean? Oh, the value. Yes, it would be. It would absolutely be. The difference being that these are Boolean values. So, and they're being pulled from local storage. So, you could definitely pass it in here, but with the way it's being used is I don't care. Personally, I don't care what the value of this toggle state is right now. I just need it to be the opposite of what it is. Yeah, yes, exactly. So instead of being like, what's the value now? And then doing the opposite thing in here, which is easily done. I mean, you could just do something like this, right? That's totally fine. I think because this is such a simple use case, but if you were doing something where you had to get Like I'm pulling in all the user preferences in this case, and then just getting the one I want and dealing with it all inside of here. So it does kind of reduce the places where logic is consumed, I think. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing something that, I don't know, yeah, you could absolutely do it that way. I think this way makes it's a little less error prone, and all the logic's happening in a single place, or multiple tabs open too. Yeah, totally. Yeah, if you had like, yeah, there's lots of, actually that's a good point too. If you wanted to like toggle lots of things at the same time, you could do it that way. I mean, again, it's a bit of a contrived example just so I could mess with this. But yeah. Yeah, if you need a value, if you need something from the store to be able to do the thing that, oh, browser tabs. I'm not following. What are you talking about? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yes. The local storage, you mean. Yeah. Okay, so set setting is basically going to be something like this, because we don't really need the right. We don't really need setting is going to be, what is it? It's going to be what, name, and then the value. Oh, it's going to be value. Do it this way. Takes the setting and a value, and that is the payload. And then set setting is the worst thing. Right, that's all I need. And then in the reducer, I'll need that. What is that? Oh, constants. Gonna add to my constants file. Oops. Export const equals. Oops. Like if I have two tabs open in the same page and I've set preferences in both, is that what you mean? I have no idea. So if I grab this, well, local storage is different. Wouldn't that? Local storage is not session storage, right? Hold on, this is a great thing. Let's check this out. So we've got two tabs here. So in tab one, I'm gonna open all the things, right? Refresh that. Application, we should have show word count true, featured image true, show category true. Over here, what? What happened in the word count component? What are we doing here? Oh, all right. Well, you know, fine. Gotta put that back. I think I was doing it like this. It's weird that you can't. I think that answered our question. All right, let's see. So let's go back, refresh this. Okay, so, all right, so here I've got all three things open, right? Here, I've also got all three things open. So if I change one here, that should make the center one open. Yeah. So because it's, if I open this and then I close it and I refresh this, yeah, because it's local storage, I think it persists across tabs. If it was session storage, it might be a different thing. Like if I add a, can I add? I'm gonna add something here. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So you probably want to just grab it immediately. I don't know if that answered your sort of question there, Kevin, but it was a good one. Okay. Why is that being done? It's not found. Yes, it is. Would you be stupid? Setting. It's in there. There's, all right, so then my setting, I should have const. We got setting and value from the payload. Come on. Then we should return state, spread state 1, 2, 3, and oop, nope, out of here. This should be setting followed by value, right? Let's go back to word count. So where am I actually saving this set word count? So rather than using set word count, I'm going to grab set. Do I not have an action on there? Sure do. Set setting. I'm going to change this to copy that, do that, and then this is going to be setting, and then it's going to be, oh, I guess the downside here is you have to know what the internal setting is. I don't think I like that. Yes, you're distracting me. But since it's doing a no value, essentially it will save and propagate. And there's an edge case, since it's doing a no value, essentially it will save and propagate. I don't think I understand what you're saying, but I believe you. Okay, so I don't think I like this now, because in our data store, and like our reducer was handling a lot of this stuff like word count, right? So we need to know what this name is in order to do the setting thing. Unless, yeah, so like we need to know that like word count is the name of the setting, which I don't like the idea of, and then whatever the value is. Like this will work, but I don't really like. I like the abstraction of this with the ease of that. So, I mean, I think this will work. Yeah, so it works. I wonder if that's just a data store. I wonder if that's something that we can figure out. So in our set setting, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's not much that we could do there. I guess one thing we could do is have it know what the action is that's being called, or seems like busy work for not much gain. Anyways, I'm gonna let everyone go. As usual, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you all, and love you all equally and without reservation. It's the weirdest thing to say at the end of a stream. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content about Gutenberg and WordPress development.